What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Heel Hookers podcast, episode 126. And boy, was it a pretty decent night in Paris over the weekend for the UFC. Not too bad. Had some real good performances, some unexpected things, a little bit of duds throughout the card as well, to be expected, but not too bad overall. Let's get into it. Well, before we do get into it, like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Appreciate everyone that does. UFC Paris. Let's go. The main event. Motherfucking Benoit Saint-Denis coming in here for his first UFC main event. Hometown crowd and everything. Putting the country and the card on his back for this one. Against Renato Moicano. We talked about it leading into it. Moicano is definitely just surging at this point in his career, even though he's at 35 years old, looking better than ever. Benoit had the real rough setback to Dustin in his last one heading into this. Didn't know, how exactly it was going to play out. I am totally surprised at how this fight played out exactly. Because even going into it, I was saying Moicano's going to get it done. I knew he could get it done. But I thought that was coming with a whole lot of lumps and bruises along the way. The fact that the only thing that was fucked up about him afterwards was his shoulder being injured.
Which he injured before, during fight camp.
And then just fucking destroyed that shit during the fight with all that grappling and all that. But what an incredible performance for Money Moicano. Gets the TKO doctor stoppage at the end of the second round. How you guys feeling after that main event?
Holy Bro, shit. I was so fucking shocked because it's like, I love Moicano. I'm not upset at this at all, but I honestly, it's like I said in the last one, I didn't think that he'd be able to capitalize on Benoit's flaws, and with him taking him to the ground, I thought that Benoit would have more for him on the ground. I thought it would be a bit more scrambly, but clearly that top pressure was just heavy as fuck. Benoit couldn't do anything. Moicano maintained position all throughout, anytime he would try to roll, whether he took his back or just landed back on top in mount. And then the ground and pound was nasty. The elbows he was landing, he cut him up so bad, which ultimately led to the doctor stoppage after the second round, But it just, I was shocked because I thought if it went to the ground, Benoit would have more for him and he would make it harder than it was. For Moicano to run through him like that was incredible. And I was happy to hear his speech afterwards. I said that before. I was like, yo, if I could get a post-fight Moicano win speech on my birthday, that's amazing.
Yep. All you could ask for.
But yeah, just absolutely insane. Just completely battered on that first round. I kind of agree with Bisping on commentary. He was saying that was 10-7. Yeah, that was a fucking 10-7. That fight probably should have been stopped a couple of times.
Yeah.
That round.
I mean, the reason why I understand why it didn't is because Benoit never went out and he never stopped trying. So I get it to the extent it's like that. It's like it was with Elizeu Zaleski when he fought him in his debut. The amount of times it could have been stopped, but he never went out and he always fought through it enough. The only reason this was stopped was because he was busted up so bad it had to be stopped. He's tough as hell. So if you don't get him out of there, he's not gonna stop it. He was trying. At least he'd cover up, he'd move around, he'd try to post. He would do what he could to keep the fight going. So I get it.
No, yeah, 100%. But that was, if there was any time a 10-7 needed to be pulled out, it was that fucking round.
No, yeah.
Because Benoit literally did nothing. It was at the very beginning of the round. He throws a couple strikes that miss, throws a body kick, and that leads into the body lock straight into the takedown. And he had nothing the rest of the round.
Yeah.
Got absolutely battered.
Yeah, because like you said, opened up
dominant positions. He had the damage, he had the duration, and he had the domination.
Yeah, because like you said, they opened up the start of the fight, throwing a few kicks, trading inside leg kicks, body kicks. And like you said, it was so beautiful from Moicano. Benoit throws the body kick, he catches it, parries it on the outside, and instantly grabs the body lock right from there. And that was the key difference with the grappling in the first round, especially compared to the second round. The second round, he's just shooting doubles and singles from the outside. Someone as explosive, athletic like Benoit and able to grapple like him, it's going to be hard to take him down that way. But it was so perfect in the first round to get him so early, just dry, you know what I mean? the perfect grip, and like you said, just absolutely battered him that first round. Like, you seen like everyone talking about it online and shit, and it's just like Benoit, like just saying Benoit, it looked like he took 5 rounds of damage in the first 5 minutes of the fight.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's going into the second round and the fucking double cut on his his. He has his one eyelid has 2 separate cuts on it, the top and bottom. That's how swollen and puffed out it was, that there was that much room in between to just absolutely got wrecked. And he really needs a step down in competition after these back-to-back losses to Moicano and Dustin. That is for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Definitely needs that. Definitely needs to reevaluate how he fights, because he's just going to keep taking a shit ton of damage if he doesn't. And then also, because of Moicano having the broken shoulder on his right arm, that just opened up to the jab, and with Benoit being southpaw, that was landing on the side that was already fucking blind.
Yeah.
And that's why it really got sucked, because that swelling was just going to keep going. And it's just like, we need to save your eye, dude. Like, we're not going to keep throwing you out here for this.
Yeah, that is, like you said, the fight had to be stopped due to the damage after the second round. There was no need for it at all. We're just sitting there watching it, and like the doctor's like really talking to him and everything, and just kind of going through whatever. You can't hear any of it, and we're just like, just stop it. Like, it doesn't. Yeah. We don't need. And then they finally did. And it's like, okay, good.
We don't even need to do the test on this. Dude can legitimately not see out of his lead eye. And his other eye is also starting to swell pretty bad.
Yeah, because, we saw it in the second round, where it's like he took all the damage in the first round, but just the jab of Moicano was just opening it up more and more. If just a jab is doing that, you can't fight, bro. Yeah. You're not avoiding the jab.
Yeah. And it's, with Kate, like you saying earlier, of just expecting Benoit to be able to do more, like, on the ground in the first round than what he was able to. It's one of those things where people that are good at grappling, you can be good at grappling in such different ways.
Yeah.
And Moicano doesn't have the greatest wrestling overall. He doesn't even have, like, the greatest passing game when he's on the ground. There's a lot of things that a lot of overall, like, not as high-level grapplers are way better than him at. But the top pressure, when he has you down and he's on top, that is definitely something that should not be underrated at, like, the highest level of this division. Because in the lead up, talking about it, like, with Drew Dober, Drew Dober he has gained the most weight out of anyone else in lightweight history in that division. For him to be able to hold him down for 3 rounds and just not letting him move or anything, that really showed a lot. And with this one, it's like, even in the first round, Benoit getting butterfly hooks consistently, getting his feet on the hip, trying to push him away. There was as explosive and athletic and strong Benoit is, there was never a moment where he was able to just, feet on hips, push you back and stand up.
No, because the second that he pushed, Moicano went right back to it. Like, he was right there.
Exactly. It's Moicano's top pressure. That is definitely not to be something that's underrated, and he could probably get a lot of people that were not expecting him to be able to beat with just that pure fact alone. If he's able to get someone down and, like, just start working on top, that's a rough spot for anyone in this division to be.
No, 100%. That is for sure.
But back to what you said before, I definitely think that for Benoit, he should probably fight outside the rankings, get himself a good couple wins, because it's like, he got ranked off of beating Matt Frivola, who's only ever made it to 15.
Yep.
Immediately then got Dustin, who is in top 5, and it's Dustin Poirier. And then the step down all the way back to number 11 Moicano and still getting beat like that. It's like, take a break, first of all. Give yourself some rest. Like, take a legitimate break and heal up. And then, just lower competition outside the top 15, get a good 2 wins, and then fight someone that's within, like, 13 to 15 type shit. You know what I mean? And actually work him up. Like, don't push people like that, because clearly it's not going well.
And
because it's like, with getting that first initial test in Matt Frivola, it's just... He's a very opportunistic fighter. He has those flashes in, like, the pan where he can do something good, but it's like, he's never, like, he only got to 15 and then got bumped out right away because he's never really consistently been at that level.
Right.
It's like, if even if it's like Bobby Green, you know what I mean? Someone that it's like, okay, like he has his flaws, and if like he just rolled over him, it's like, oh yeah, like that's not the most surprising that he was able to like, you know, just like knock out Bobby, younger, more explosive, whatever. But it's just a way better test. You know what I mean? Someone that's just a veteran in the game is dealt with so many of these guys that it's like, oh yeah, you're just big puncher coming through, you know? Because honestly, like instead of Matt Favola, like in that moment, him versus Bobby Green. Bro, like, that would have been... That I don't think that fight would have played out where we're like, yeah, you're getting Dustin Poirier afterwards. You know what I mean? Like, it would have been entirely different.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So it's like, I don't know where they're going to go to outside the rankings. I just know that it's not going to be far enough down, and I feel like it's going to be someone that he's supposed to be able to beat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. It could be that. Or, to be fair, it could be someone else who was on this card. It could be someone like a Ludwig Klein.
That wouldn't be a bad one.
That wouldn't be a bad fight, but I'm not sure how much I would favor BSD in that one.
Oh, yeah. Ludwig's a way more just technical striker than and like just safer striker than he is for sure.
It'd be an interesting one.
No,
It could be that. It could be like a Joel Alvarez.
We don't need the prospect fights like that. You know what I mean? I feel like that because honestly, the name that's popped
starting to get. Yeah, but those two are like really starting to build up in the division. You know what I mean?
For sure. Honestly, like one of the names that popped into my head that it's like. The only problem that I don't like about it is I feel like they're a bit too high up in the division where it's like he gets a win, he's going to be right back fighting in the top 15. But like Carlos Diego Ferreira, I feel like that's someone that could like be a decent fight for Benoit Saint-Denis. Showed in his last fight, he got the shit beat out of him by Mateusz Rebecki, but was able to hang in there and then get the late finish, you know? Like, he has amazing grappling. He's, like, crafty enough on the feet. He might be able to give him problems in certain areas. If he extends the fight out, then, you know what I mean? We'll get to see that from Benoit. I feel like that would probably be, like, a decent fight for him. And it's also someone where if Benoit fixes a few things, gets dialed in, and is really prepared, he can go out there and get a first-round knockout. You know what I mean? And that's where it's just like, okay, where he does that, and now it's like, all right, you're just gonna fight like fucking Jalen Turner or some shit after, you know what I mean? And it's like,
but
yeah, either way, we'll have to see where they go with Benoit. For Moicano, he wants fucking easy money fights next. He has no interest in all these tough bullshit fights. He doesn't want that. He wants fights that are easy. He wants Paddy Pimblett, Dan Hooker.
Paddy Pimblett, easy money. Dan Hooker, easy money.
He said looking at Dan Hooker in the rankings is like seeing a turtle in a tree. You know he didn't climb there. He had to be placed there.
Yo, he's incredible. I don't even remember
that's so disrespectful. That is so disrespectful.
I know, I love Dan, but it's just so funny. It's like, Bisping asked him a question. He said, I plan to come here and talk shit about the French, but it's a nice place. Many beautiful places.
But the government is fucking terrible.
There's no democracy. The French Revolution.
Yeah, bro, the fact that he brought up the French Revolution, like, bro, what are we doing here? What are we fucking doing here? And then I don't remember the book that he said to read this time, but yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand half the shit he says sometimes, but it's always so funny to listen to him scream into the microphone.
Yeah, man, it's incredible. But it's like we were talking about it in the preview where it's like it's a good chance that he will just get like a Dan Hooker fight or something, you know, because it's like to get matched up with like Dustin, that seems unlikely.
He's gonna get the Paddy fight.
And that's where it's like it kind of sucks to fight down in the rankings or whatever.
He called for it.
Exactly. And that's gonna be such a big fight. Just do the Ultimate Fighter. Just do it.
Oh
just
God,
do it.
yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Why not?
That's something we can wait for. Those
Yeah.
would be two incredible coaches. That would be the best season they've had in years.
Guess what? They're actually going to be entertaining. At least the coaches will be entertaining.
Yeah, and then because like I know that we've talked about like that idea for them too as like the Ultimate Fighter
but
coaches.
now it
like,
makes sense.
Yeah, and it's like I forget who I heard say it, but then the idea like I heard someone else say that like they should coach the Ultimate Fighter and then do a season of like Brazil versus England. Or, like the UK, and it's just like, yeah, that would just be perfect. Whatever two divisions, just Moicano, all Brazilian fighters, Patty with a bunch of UK guys, and fucking... It's pretty...
I feel like I know who wins that, but,
I mean, hey, we gotta see.
It's still fun.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
That would easily be the most anticipated season of Tough in a long time. Like...
Yeah. No one cared. Like, people cared a little bit about Connor and Chandler, but that was because they assumed at the end of it Connor was actually going to come back.
Yeah, and I feel like people watched the first episode and then it sucked ass, and they were like, okay, like, and then it just died instantly.
And then not a single motherfucker cared for Valentina Grasso.
No. Not at all. But yeah, 155, a whole lot of fun going on. A lot of good shit. Good for Money Moicano, 4-fight win streak now. And back-to-back TKO wins, the only 2 in his career. It's just incredible to see, man. Like, I know I fucked around a whole lot with the lead-up. It's like, Moicano got a TKO in his last one. Benoit just got TKO'd, but I
really didn't think it was going to happen. I thought he could sub him, maybe, but, but...
Yeah, and like I said, not going out there in first round just crushing him to where the fight was just done from there. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Incredible, man. But in the co-main event,
insane.
Not as fun of a fight or a result. I was pretty sad with it. My boy Brendan Allen, I had him on my draft. That's really the biggest reason that I cared about this one, honestly.
Yeah, you both lost
I know. Yep. It's terrible. Ginger had Benoit. I had Brendan Allen. Unanimous decision, lost to Nasruddin Imavov. He got the takedown in the first round. I feel like Nasruddin just probably wasn't expecting him to go to it so quickly, you know what I mean? That was really just kind of the only thing that like made sense in my head, because all of the other grappling exchanges in the second round, and like obviously as like the second round started to go on and then into the third, like Brendan Allen was tired as shit and Nasruddin started to get tired too. But he just stuffed everything fine. It was not a problem at all. Just another real not good-looking performance from Brendan Allen in this one.
Yeah, because even with the first-round takedown and, like, he was able to control him for, like, damn near the whole round, but he didn't do anything with it. There wasn't any big strikes. Like, the significant strikes in that round were 1 to 4. The control time was 4 minutes and 45 seconds.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything with it. No sub, like I said, no sub attempts, no strikes. Like, he just held him. And then got exhausted off of it, and then got beat up over round 2 and 3. Like, he didn't look good there.
In some of those, he had a couple good knees, couple good strikes, but like overall wasn't doing too. I think the problem in the third round is he kept trying to shoot for takedowns.
Yeah, he went 0 for 6 on takedowns.
That's what I'm saying. He kept trying to shoot for takedowns. In that third round, he should have just said "fuck it," fuck the game plan, and just kept it standing. I actually feel like he was doing fairly decently standing.
For sure. I feel like it's the fact that you need the mix of it, though. That's like... Because it's like, if he just completely abandoned it and like he just wasn't going, and now it's like 3 minutes through that third round and fucking Nasruddin's like, oh, this motherfucker just isn't shooting, you know? Like, I feel like then that allows him to kind of adjust in how he's striking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, and I get that, but the thing is, at that point... Now he's not expecting it. That's when you can, like, if he went for a longer period without shooting the takedowns, at least in that third round, he probably could have gotten a takedown, because then all of a sudden it's now more, okay, we're now striking, and then, duck under, body lock, pull him down. Now you have a takedown in that round. You actually can do something as opposed to takedown. Like, he did 6. He did more than 1 per minute that whole round.
Yeah. And yeah, as they started going, that fight went on, man, those takedowns were
labor.
They were so bad. He had the one, I forget if it was the second and third, but it was a real Dreekus takedown of just face planting, fucking grabbing at the ankles, and it's like, you know, we're just
I said it when it happened. I was like, bro, there can't be two people at one time that can pull off just face planting into the floor and then trying to ankle pick and it works, and let alone in the same division. Not happening.
And it's like you two are built entirely differently in your body structure for you to do the same kind of technique. You know what I mean?
That wasn't a technique. That was just Dreekus doing Dreekus shit, okay? That shit where he's so bad he's good. You know, like that's not technique.
He made terrible technique his own good technique. Dreekus,
yeah, it's incredible, but it's not something you can copy.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
man. I was really hoping Brendan Allen could get it done, but yeah, it really should have expected this more, especially after his last fight with Chris Curtis. But yeah, it very rough for Nasruddin though. Very solid win for him, getting in his home country and everything. It's just hard because even with him getting the win, it's like 3-fight win streak now. Just like getting the names under the resume, but there's like no hype overall or anything. No. Even with this win, it wasn't some great performance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is the UFC gonna give him over him being ranked number 4 and Brendan Allen was ranked number 8 coming into this?
The loser of Whittaker Hamzat.
Yeah, that's entirely possible.
Maybe I was gonna say
unless Hamzat loses though, then
Hamzat loses. There's no point in doing that.
I feel like Hamzat's gonna fight like Paulo or something. You know what I mean?
He will lose all. Yeah. He's already lost pretty much all his hype for the most part.
Yeah.
So at this point, if he loses, that experiment's pretty much over, and he's now going to be treated like a regular contender. I've been seeing a lot of people matchmaking him against Izzy, which I wouldn't mind that, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah, that's also definitely the best fight to do, honestly, for the division.
I think that's the best fight to do. I wouldn't mind a Strickland Imavov rematch.
Yeah, they're definitely not doing that for sure.
I'll see it happening. Well, I just don't see Sean accepting it.
That's
if he's not accepting Whittaker, he's not accepting Imavov.
Yeah, not at all. He's gonna just be like, I beat this guy coming off the couch. Why do I gotta do it again? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But yeah, the top of it is hard. We really just gotta wait for the Whittaker Hamzat fight to happen, see who the winner is, how it all plays out, and then we're gonna know if if that person's fighting Dreekus or if they're just gonna go to Sean Dreekus, and then we can actually get some movement for the rest of the division. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's it. But we're super fucking close at this point. You know what I mean? Less than a month away, so we're right there. We'll get it soon. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's really all that's holding up 185. Good for Nasruddin though.
Yeah.
Hopefully he gets something big because he definitely does deserve it. Featured bout, another fight that I was not expecting it to play out like this at all, honestly.
Yeah.
Joe Anderson Brito, so hyped on him. 5 wins in a row, all finishes. Really thought that this was just going to be an easy fight for him. And it was not at all. Loses a split decision to William Gomis in France.
Gomis won by being tall. Nah, I'm just talking shit.
Yeah, it just, Brito was not able to be nearly as effective with the grappling as I thought. I think it was the second round where he threw in the arm triangle choke going for it when he was on top. Wasn't a great position at all, and he was just squeezing as hard as he could with it. Gomis was constantly putting his thumb up saying that he was okay, so it's like, all right, you're probably not going to get it. Just started burning his arms out, and it was like, all right, well, that was definitely just a waste. And then just struggled on the feet. The one thing for sure that I was surprised about, as much as he was struggling in all of that, This motherfucker did not stop running in front of William Gomis, throwing wild shots on the feet and just trying to put on as much pressure as he could. I really thought like he might just get clipped and go down at like some point, you know what I mean? But just tough as hell, hanging in there, just not the performance that I'm definitely hoping for out of Joe Anderson Brito.
No, 100%.
But for Gomis though, is just very solid win. Now 4-0 in the UFC, putting together a good little run. I don't really know how much like the UFC is looking at him to like do anything in the division, you know what I mean? It's like 4-0, but I feel like there hasn't seemed to be much hype on him. He's only 27 years old, but
probably because he hasn't done the most spectacular shit. It's like he got that third round body kick over Yanis Gamori.
Yeah,
but other than that, it's been 2 split decisions and a majority decision.
That's very true. There you go. That's it right there.
I think putting him up against like a wily vet in some way would be a good idea. I think putting him up against someone like an Andre Fili would be a good idea. Just because, like, I just want to see what he can do. Hell, fucking Caceres is another great idea.
I think Caceres would be a really good one, honestly.
Yeah.
Because he's like just everybody knows what he's about, you know what I mean? But he's got very good fucking rangy kicking and striking, and he's no slouch in the grappling at all. He can definitely wrap stuff up. So
that's
a good one.
I think that's the next, like, that's the type of fighter he needs to fight because he's fought mainly prospects so far. People are on the come up and people are around that range. It's like, all right, let's see what he can do against a vet. Let's see what he does against someone who's had a lot of UFC experience against high level competition and see what he's able to do there.
Yeah, I definitely like that one. I think that's a pretty good matchup. And then for Brito, who knows what they'll do with him, but just gotta go because I always feel like he's old, but 29 years old. He's not old at all either, so he'll probably just go back into the random grind of 145ers, put together another like 3-fight win streak that looks good, and he'll probably be back into trying to get a fight with Dan Ige or something.
Yep.
No, I can see them putting him up. I don't know. There are a couple of guys down at it in the, that aren't ranked that he could go against.
Yeah.
Yusuf Zalal.
I refuse. Not at all. Not happening. I'd be so upset if they did that. Not my boy. He just came back. He's doing good. I want Brito to win, not go on a 2-fight losing streak.
And you don't want to see Yusuf lose.
Exactly. Terrible fight. Terrible matchmaking. But
I like it.
I mean, it would be a great fight. Yes, it would be amazing. Yes. I mean, you can't really go wrong in matchmaking him. He's going to put on a good fight, more than likely, no matter who he's up against.
Yeah.
But the next fight to talk about, motherfucking Bryan Battle. He did the most American thing you could have done. Go out there, beat the absolute shit out of Kevin Jousset in his home country, and then just started yelling at the crowd, flipping them off and everything. It was absolutely beautiful.
Get on the mic and just say, y'all really thought I was going to lose in a fist fight against a Frenchman. Y'all really thought.
Yeah, Bryan Battle's awesome. I'm so happy that he won. Yeah. This was the fight that I really wanted to go like this. It was the one thing I got perfect on Tapology. But yeah, and then it just made it even better. Yeah, just walking around, just flipping everyone off, just fuck that. Yeah. Yeah, that was so good.
It was really funny too. That is the only one that you got perfect, and that was the one fight where you're just like, if anyone can get a knockout on this card, I want it to be Bryan Battle. That's my birthday wish. Yeah. And then not only does he get it in beautiful fashion, but then just
oh my god,
the perfect for your Tapology, and just the everything about it. Absolutely beautiful performance for Bryan Battle on this one.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, though, Kevin Jousset, obviously he's tough as hell, because even with the finish, it's not like he went down. Bro was just standing there, covering up, just walking away. Like, he didn't argue the stoppage at all, because he knew he was done. Everyone knows he was done. But he wasn't going down. He wasn't gonna, you know what I mean? Like, I know that's not always, like, the greatest thing. Like, at least he was tough, but it's always something to take into account. Like, with other, going into other fights. Like, he got finished here, but bro's tough as hell.
Like,
That was
out.
just Bryan Battle's like
Jesus
actual
Christ.
killer instinct and
like,
willingness to just put that pressure on, seeing that he's hurt, because all those people just looking for that one shot, that's not something that's going to get him out of there. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Like just like it was. I think it left, and then just a straight right went straight through the guard, lands, and then he's just able to keep just doing that same combo, finding that hole, landing straight on the temple and cheek of fucking Jousset.
Yeah, the straight shots were just
perfect.
blasting them apart. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, there's like because even like before that, there were a lot of moments too where it's like, yo, Brian, you gotta
move your head.
Yeah, man. But the pressure just going forward, putting it on him, and then just Kevin started fading, and Bryan Battle was not at all, and then it was Jousset wasn't able to get out of the way of anything, and like you said, just ripping the fucking right hands through the guard, putting it on him. And because with you bringing it up, I remember thinking, like, when they showed the replays and stuff, that like I wouldn't be surprised if people are like, oh, like that was an early stoppage or whatever. But it like you said, if the person that got stopped isn't arguing it in the moment or anything like that, you can't say shit. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
seriously, because it's like all he was doing was covering up, folding over, and trying to turn away and walk away. He wasn't in that fight anymore. He didn't want none of that. He just wouldn't go down. Like,
yeah. But just beautiful work for Bryan Battle in this one.
Yeah, definitely did real.
No contest now in the UFC. Very solid. I'm sorry, what were you gonna say?
Oh, sorry. I just, even with it, because I'm just looking at it, it's like, like just all the body shots he was landing to break him. Like, beautiful performance.
Yeah. His one loss in the UFC, Renat Fakhretdinov, that was a short notice fight. Very ill-advised. Everyone at that point that was already on the Bryan Battle train was just like, why are you doing this, man? Like, this is crazy. Yep. But 4 fights since then, 3 wins, and then the 1-0 contest against Angelusa.
Which he was beating the shit out of Angelusa.
Yeah. It's like, I don't really know if he should fight top 15 yet. If he does, the fight I would love to see him in is the person that is, for some reason, still has number 15 next to their name. They decide to do a tie at 170.
At 15.
Yeah, it is crazy.
To make the top 16.
But Neil Magny, I feel like that would be it's Neil Magny. Everyone knows what he's there for. If Bryan Battle is not really ready for like that sort of level, he's gonna get fucking shut out and probably held up against the cage and not be able to do shit to Neil Magny. But if he's able to just put on the pressure and like just that finishing potential against Neil, like he is able to do everyone else, he's getting him out of there, and then he's gonna have some hype on him going into the rankings.
No, yeah. Do you want that, or do you want something I think would be interesting in terms of just both being both of them having power striking, but one of them having a bit more power? Him versus Chaos Williams.
That was the name I had in my head.
Dang.
I was kind of thinking Chaos Williams too.
Right outside the top 15, we really get to see like what he's able to do against someone who has a lot of power, and is just, I think it's a good idea.
Chaos Williams has lost 3 decisions, but he's never been finished.
Yes.
No knockouts, no subs.
God damn, it's scary, but it's a great fight, and you're absolutely right of like he needs that before going into the top 15.
Because like because the thing is Bryan Battle has a lot of like head movement issues in this fight. If he doesn't lose via KO, should really like show himself and his coaches, hey, we really need to work on the head movement.
Yeah.
Before we get into the top 15, because that was, iffy. You know what I mean? I think that's like the type of fighter who gives you that type of wake up call. He's like, damn, this motherfucker hit hard.
No, yeah, it really is perfect for all of that, honestly, because it's like, yeah, man, you got monsters at 170 pounds, and even if like they aren't the biggest hitters, like one shot compared to some other people, they're very technically there. So it's like if you're lacking, then you're gonna get just beat the fuck up by them anyway, and it doesn't matter if they're not a one shot guy. Like it's fucking Bilal versus Sean Brady. You know what I mean? Like Yeah, that's a great fight. I would definitely love to see that.
I think the person who should be fighting Neil Magny next is Carlos Prats, but we'll.
That's just vicious.
Look, he needs to be in the top 15. This man is a killer, but
very true. But speaking of killers, a very solid striker at 145 pounds. The last pirate, I believe, is his nickname?
Yes.
Morgan Charrier gets a second round finish, left hook over Gabriel Miranda on this card.
It was perfect.
Beautiful, vicious, improves his record, getting better. 20-10 and 1 now. Very good, very good.
I love this man. I don't care that that's his record.
Not at all.
He's only 28. Like, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. He's French, who has somehow 31 fights, even though it was illegal till 2 years ago. It's fine.
He fought everywhere except for France. Whole lot of cage warriors,
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, like that left hook was perfect. It just split the guard as he was as Miranda was getting up and trying to put, get distance, leaps in, and just lands it perfectly, and he just goes down.
Mm-hmm. Just a good first round and everything, and then as soon as the second round started, it was
out of hell.
It was whatever the fucking corner that he had told him, they were just like, bro, what are you doing? You're better than him. Get him the fuck out of there. And he was like, all right, I'm sorry, I'll end the fight. And he just got it the fuck over with. It just absolutely incredible. 2-1 in the UFC now, but overall he's in his what would that be? Last 6 fights, 5-1. So just very solid. Split decision, lost to Chepe Mariscal 2 fights ago, but we know Chepe's very solid as well.
Hey, this dude, he's on a run right now. Every fight he's been in has been a performance bonus of some type.
Yeah, his 3 fights in the UFC. That is definitely a very hard thing to do. It's a very hard thing to keep up as well.
Yeah, it's actually pretty crazy. I didn't realize that.
There's only one person
that too.
Gaethje. The only motherfucker insane. I think in UFC history that
who has more bonuses than fights, right?
I thought it was tied. I thought he has as many bonuses as he has fights, because there was one fight or that he didn't get a bonus, but he got doubled up on bonuses a different fight, so it evened out.
Because with his it was his 2 title losses with Khabib and Oliveira that had him tied, but I'm pretty sure going before the Khabib fight, he had more bonuses than fights. And so it's being at 7-8 fights in the UFC or something like that, you know what I mean? And having I'm pretty sure, but either way, it's Gaethje just a ridiculous amount with that. But it just always put it on fun fights. What is that?
13 bonuses.
Oh, okay. And how many UFC fights?
That's what I was about to look up.
13 fights, 13 bonuses.
Very nice.
Yep. So even.
Yeah, there are 2 fights he didn't get bonuses, but he's doubled up twice.
Yeah.
It's insane.
The perfect UFC fighter ever. Oh, man. But Morgan Charrier, he is going to put on a lot of fun fights with a lot of good guys in this division. I don't really know exactly. Huh?
I don't know how far he goes.
Yeah, and it's I don't really know how far they should push him right now or anything. He should probably just keep on getting a few more fights just way back in the division, you know what I mean?
He's definitely here for fun, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no. I think if he wasn't already booked, him versus... Well, also, Air Jordan's moving down, isn't he?
I don't remember.
Charles Jordan. Charles Jordan.
I'm not sure.
Either way, if he wasn't booked and or moving up or down, that'd be such a fun fight.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Oh, my fucking God.
But yeah, and like you said, Kate, only 28 years old, so it's he's got plenty of time to put on fun fights and get better and see how far he can go. But opening up the main card, speaking of getting better, holy motherfucking shit, Faraziam. Going into this one, it's he is a very technical fighter. He's very good. But it's just not some super aggressive guy that's going out there to get the finish. He's very okay to point fight someone, win a decision, and that's just how he just kind of grinds out fights that way. He was not content with that at all fighting in Paris this one. That fucking knee to the head against Matt Frivola in the third round.
Dead.
The way that he
Fucking
just
perfect.
grabbed it, put it, like, literally perfect placement right to the chin, and just unconscious, vicious. Beautiful performance. 6 win in the UFC. Finally gets his first KO TKO.
His first finish at all.
Yeah.
In the UFC.
Yeah. Just beautiful, though. I was not expecting that at all. I thought it was first round knockout Matt Frivola or unanimous decision win for Firas Ziam.
And to be fair, like, it was like, 3 minutes into the third round, we were like, okay, like, and they were up against Cage. We're like, okay, I see this fight's not going to go anywhere. And then all of a sudden, like 3 seconds later, holy shit, Frivola's dead.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Only 27 years old. It's like I definitely didn't realize that he was still this young. I thought he was a little bit older.
I mean, honestly, that was kind of the performance he needed at 27 years old. Just been on a run of decisions. He lost a couple of them, or a couple fights, and it's kind of the same with him, where it's like, decision here, majority decision, split decision. He needed this finish. He needed something to look good. He needed something to put some hype on him. 4-fight winning streak, like you said, good for him.
Yeah, definitely his best win to this point. Definitely best named win at this point. Losses to Don Madge and Terrence McKinney in the UFC.
Yep. It's like not terrible losses, you know what I mean?
Not especially Don Madge, that was his debut 5 years ago at this point. Like, and then Terrence McKinney, it's kill or be killed, He got finished in the first round. If it would have been the third round, that would be bad. But first round, McKinney...
It's
not like he got decisioned by Trevor Peak or anything.
That'd be so bad.
Yeah. But it's like, one of those things, just talking about Morgan Charrier, you know what I mean? 3 fights in the UFC, 3 bonuses. It's like this was Firas Ziam's 8th fight, first performance bonus in his career for the UFC. So it's like, just like you said, 27 years old, the perfect performance that you want to see. Definitely could be like just a good turning point in his career.
And on a big card for him too, it's UFC Paris, so it's not in the fucking Apex. He was in his hometown. Like, this is what he needed. Yeah, opening up the main card too, you know what I mean? So it's like just really getting like all the hype built up. Like, we had a good amount of French fighters like on the card overall, but it was clearly more dedicated to the main card itself, you know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, perfect. Absolutely beautiful.
No, yeah, and it's like one of those things where with this fight and who he fought, like someone who just recently dropped out of the top 15. Well, not recently, but within this past year, dropped out of the top 15. Someone who's like, was still around that, 16 to 20 area. Like, who does he fight next? Like, is it potentially, because he's on a 4-5 win streak, fighting someone in the top 15? Like, or is he gonna have to fight someone right outside of it one more time before he gets a top 15 opponent?
I don't know. It's very hard. Being at 155 pounds, it's like shit. Like, Benoit was someone that was like getting all of these crazy performances, and you know what I mean, and like all these finishes, and like having hype on him, and it like it was his 5th fight in like the win streak that got him like Matt Frivola to like the top 15. Where this was 4th fight in the win streak for Firas Ziam. Matt Frivola falling off like where he was at that point. And not having that same kind of a hype. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 2 more fights till he's like fighting someone in the top 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it.
But
I was wondering.
It definitely just depends, because like you said, just good performance in this one for the turning point. It's like they might want to be like, okay, let's actually see what you can do. You know what I mean?
Jalen Turner.
Yeah, Jalen Turner.
That was the name that came to mind for me. Yeah.
I mean, shit, I would have no problem with Jalen Turner versus Firas Ziam. That would be a hell of a fight. Yeah. Let's see where they go with that. But main card, whole lot of fun, a lot of good fights. Prelims, we had some good stuff as well. What do you guys want to bring up off the prelims that's sticking out to you?
Well, the one thing I want to bring up, and not because it was like a great fight, it was good, I'm not complaining, but the goddamn robbery of this split decision. Well, it wasn't a robbery because it went to the right person, but the fact that they even tried to call it a split decision with Nora Cornell and Jacqueline Cavalcanti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was also really funny that like Nora looked like she was robbed on that split decision. Like, Nora looked unhappy with it and everything, and like looked surprised, and it's like, what
this should have been 29-28 across the board for Cavalcante at the worst.
Yeah, like what?
Yeah, I just didn't see that as close. Like, there was nothing in my brain where after that I was like, oh, this was a close fight. I don't know who got this. Like, no, it was like, okay, this was Jacqueline's fight. Good for her. She took this short notice, and she's been looking good as hell since she's gotten to the UFC.
Yeah.
And then they're calling the cards, and I was like, France, is this how you're gonna be?
Exactly.
These fights cannot go to a decision. We cannot let this happen. But that was the only one that was, like, really iffy, so whatever.
Yeah, just the first fight with a French fighter on, like, in that fight, and it was so clear, like you said, of just how, and it was, like you said, just right away being, is this what it's gonna be tonight? Are we just gonna get bullshit fucking sprinkled throughout the entire card? But yeah, like you said, luckily that we did not have to deal with that, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Ginger, anything you feel like bringing up on it that you were happy with?
Yeah, the kind of like one of the more insane things that happened on this card. Chris Duncan fucking choked out Oki in the first round, and as you're watching it, it's like, okay, it's tight, it looks tight, and then all of a sudden, his head pops out, and we're like, oh, he's okay. Duncan hits him a couple times and then realizes he's out. Yelling at the ref, he's out. And everyone being like, holy shit, what the fuck?
Yeah,
that was insane, like how that ended up happening. That sequence of events is just so wild.
Yeah, it really is. It's just funny how you can see how things can play out for different people, because, yeah, Oki, like, he lets go, and then it's like, oh shit, he's actually asleep. It's over. But then we seen it in the Sphere. What's his name again? Ronaldo Rodriguez?
Yeah.
That's who it was, who was caught up in the arm triangle choke, and he was unconscious when he let go. If it was Ode Osborne? Yeah, if he would have held it for 1 second more, dude would have been out. But he let go, he fell on top, was clearly not fully there for, like, at least 20 seconds, and then fight continued.
Yep.
Because nobody realized that he was asleep.
Yeah. But yeah,
that was wild.
Insane. Absolutely insane. And then, for me, the last little thing I want to bring up, we, talked about Ludwig Klein earlier, we'll mention, but taking on Roosevelt Roberts, got a unanimous decision win. I was very surprised of just how the fight played out. Didn't expect Roosevelt to do as good with, like, the striking. Ludwig was nowhere near as much of a threat with that, and it went way more to the grappling than I thought he was going to in this fight as well. So, I mean, overall, just good to see him mixing it up and just using different skill sets to get it done. That's never a bad thing. But wasn't the crazy striking fight that I thought we were going to get leading to a finish.
No, yeah, for sure. Also, I mean, there was 14 fights on here, so there's a couple more things to talk about. I think, for one specifically, Eileen Perez. She got a first-round arm triangle choke over Daria. That was it was really good for her. She had a bad weight cut. She missed weight by half a pound. She looked like she was pretty stumbly on the scales. Daria just much taller than her and just had that advantage. But when she got her down, she got that choke. Daria tapped, and then she proceeded to twerk in her face immediately.
Yeah, it was
disrespectful, but really funny.
Twerk in her face, and then for the post-fight interview, had the most early 2000s looking chain and hat on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because even with the arm triangle choke that she got too, it's like she was on the opposite side of where the lock was and where you're supposed to be. But Daria's face went bright red, like she was squeezing the fuck out of her.
Pressure on that.
Like you could just tell that she put everything into it. And then it was just really funny too that like she gets up, starts twerking, and she looked behind her, saw that Daria went the other way, and then turned to like re-put her ass in her face as she tried getting up to twerk at her. Like it was just, I feel like the double up on that and the extra commitment. It's like, all right, that was just so disrespectful, man. But yeah, that was really good. Definitely had to be brought up for sure.
Yes.
Monkey King and Patty don't got shit on her.
But yeah, other than that, Iwan Kutelaba got a split decision win. That was
just a pretty wacky, wild fight.
It's the fucking Hulk, you know what I mean? It's gonna have moments of like, all right, what the fuck's going on, and then just crazy shit happens. You know what I mean?
Arslan just getting rocked all over the place, falling to the ground, getting backed up. Kutelabe was not credited with any knockdowns, but he had him on the ground 2 times, maybe 3. Like, at least 2 though, for sure.
I'm always down for a Kutelaba fight. I don't care who it's against.
100%.
But good for him to get that win.
Yep.
he could be fighting 10 flyweights. I'd be extremely interested.
Yeah. Omar Sy remains undefeated against Da Woon Jung. That was a good performance for him.
Nothing too much more notable. I mainly just wanted to bring that up. I
Definitely
don't want to forget that. It was a good submission, and then it was just funny disrespect.
Hell yeah. But those are all of the fights to bring up from UFC Paris. Topology, none of us really did that great. 14 fights. I did the best with 8 correct picks. It wasn't too good. But definitely just a very close night overall. Just go after, we all sent the picks in. I was like, oh, there's only one fight that we all picked the same. That was Victor Altamirano by decision, and we all got that one wrong. So very nice on us.
Yeah.
It wasn't great, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the last thing, moving on to some fight news, we do got some good shit going on. I know we don't have this as the first thing, but I just kind of feel like bringing it up first because it just going into the last podcast. I thought it was pretty incredible that we're just like, oh, RDR to the UFC, who's he gonna fight? And I know I said that it wasn't gonna happen, and I knew they weren't gonna do it, but I'd love to see him fight Sean Strickland, number 1 ranked contender, former champ, RDR, former 2 division champ and 1 championship. And then they just went so differently, just so disrespectfully differently, in my opinion. It's just kind of crazy.
I don't think it's disrespectful.
I don't think it's disrespectful.
I feel like it, bro. A former 2 division champ that was
I get what you're saying.
He's undefeated in Anatoly. You know what I mean? It's really
Okay, so first of all, let's get to it. He's fighting Gerald Mearshart, GM3.
Yes.
But the reason why I don't find it disrespectful is because, alright, yes, he was the double champ going into, in 1 championship. He only lost them to the one person, whatever.
Yeah.
Good for him. Up until he actually got to 1 championship, it's not like he was fighting the greatest of people, and then even in 1, there's levels.
Yes.
Reiner's biggest thing is his submission game. His grappling is incredible, his chin is not. We have GM3, who is not...
But, I feel like it's kind of hard to actually know with his chin, you know what I mean? Because
it's only Anatoly.
And because it's, I 100%, know, because those performances were terrible. But it's one of those things where it's how many women have we heard that it's I fought Larissa, I ain't never been punched like that before, that was crazy. I fought Amanda, I ain't never been punched like that before. Bro, Anatoly heavyweight champ coming down. It's he just
that's true.
Just may have never been hit like that before.
That's true.
But back to your point, though. I'm sorry.
But either way,
it is great.
It's you know what I mean. He had the 2 knockout losses. He came back in UAE Warriors and got a win over a guy who was 6-1 on the regional scenes. You know what I mean? So GM3 shit is his grappling. He doesn't have many knockouts. He is a vet in the UFC with just, you know what I mean? He has
most submission wins.
He has 21 fights in the UFC and the most submission wins.
Yeah, or in the division, middleweight division. Yeah, Charles Oliveira has that number 1, but yeah.
It's just a good test to see where he's actually at.
It is.
You know what I mean? Because, you could throw him into a huge fight with somebody, and then it's oh, you just got absolutely smashed. Maybe you shouldn't have actually been there. Or you can get GM3, who is only 2 years older than him at 36, and he's on a 2-fight winning streak right now. You know what I mean? It's not like he's doing awful. He got knocked out by Joe Pyfer, lost the split decision to Petrosky, but then he beat Brian Barberena, Edmund Shabazian. Not the greatest wins, but it's let's just see where he's at, because he can clearly still beat and finish these guys that are just lower than him, and he's losing to the better guys. So it just really shows, puts into perspective where Reiner's at.
That you're 100% right on it. Sorry, go, Jenner.
I was about to say, just real quick with all that. I understand everything what you're saying. The thing with me is, I'm wondering if it's partially just the fact that 1 championship's divisions, their divisions for light heavyweight and middleweight are 205 and 225, correct?
Yeah.
Partially just a weight cut thing. All right, can you actually make 185? Because I don't know what he weighed in last time against these
205.
Other opponent, 205. Yeah. There you go.
This will be his first time making 185 since before he was in 1 championship, and that's going back to 2018.
Yeah, 34 years old. That's a big weight cut for someone who hasn't made that weight in a long time.
That's fair.
After this fight, if he wins, I could easily see them throwing him into the division, throwing him up against someone like I think it'd be a really fun fight, him against Jack Hermanson.
Yeah, so I get, for me, like, because you're 100% right, where it's like, it's a great test. GM3 is that guy the UFC does, where it's like, if we want to push you and have like someone hype, you give them GM3, because then more than likely, if they actually are really good, they're gonna look amazing, and now you can get them up. I guess for me, it's like, because his thing is jiu-jitsu, and GM3 is like, you should not underestimate his jiu-jitsu. No. I just feel like there's too much of a potential for Reiner to win, not actually look that great, and now people don't really give a fuck about him, and it's like 34 years old, he still has time at middleweight, but I feel like it's just better to kind of just, let's just see what you can do. With, like, you bringing up Jack Hermanson, that's also a great fight in his test for jiu-jitsu. I feel like that would have been just a better one right away to do, where it's like, you're a former 2-division champ, let's just put you right into the top 10, top 15. There's like, because if like you lose to Jack RK, top 15 guy, you know what I mean? It still looks absolutely terrible. We'll have no respect on him from there on out. But you get caught up by GM3. To your point as well, hasn't actually made 185 the weight in so many years, that it's dead in the water right there. And now I feel like the best talking point, if he loses to GM3, look what fucking GM3 did to their double champ. It's just the UFC to fucking shit talk a promotion and say how much better they are. You know what I mean?
Because that was going to be the other thing that I brought up, is that Dana does not give any sort of respect to one championship. No, you know what I mean? Like,
but he doesn't disrespect them either. Really.
No, he doesn't. But he just doesn't talk about them. He doesn't act like they're there.
Exactly, which is weird.
And I know that. I know obviously, they've done like the trade with fucking Ben and DJ. Like, I know that like obviously there's something there or whatever. But it's like, at least when it comes to like Bellator or PFL, like he'll talk about them, even if it is disrespectfully. Yes. But like, it's the acknowledgement. When Chandler came over, it's like, right into the top 5, like all of these things, But I just don't know that he thinks that people give a shit, especially about somebody that just lost twice, Like, I feel like for him too, it's like he doesn't really see him as this star, so he probably is just like, I don't know, fucking GM3, let's see if he's worth it. Like, I don't think to him he's a big enough star to actually even throw him into the top 15 right away.
That's fair.
Yeah,
he's gonna treat him like a fighter.
Not only that, but the reason I think that that he never mentions one championship is with, like you mentioned PFL. You mentioned Bellator. He talked about Strikeforce. He talked about all these other promotions. The only other promotion he ever talked about outside of the US is Pride. Yeah. But he had to talk about Pride.
Yeah.
Pride was literally the biggest promotion in the world.
Yeah.
He's not going to try to, even by being disrespectful, introduce a potentially casual audience in his post-fight press conferences to an international company that they might not even know exists.
But that's exactly my point, though, is that like with him not even bringing it up, not showing them any acknowledgement because he doesn't care to bring that into the mainstream of UFC or whatever. Why is he just going to be like, hey, this former double champ from one championship's coming over. It's his debut. Let's hype him up and throw him into this top 15. Like, I think they're just going to treat him like a regular fighter.
And because honestly, like with you saying that, because I think it was a Contender Series press conference, post-fight press conference. It was when RDR was announced being signed to the UFC. Like, a reporter asked him about it because, like, in my head, like I want to like wait to hear what Dana says like about RDR and the you know what I mean, and just see if there's any mention of one or just what he's done. And when he was asked about that, he was like, "Oh, you gotta act like Mick. I don't know anything about that." And like that was just his answer to him getting signed. Yeah. And so obviously they signed him and had this like in the plans and everything. So I do wonder if like he just really doesn't look at it as much, and so he's just like, okay, you think this is gonna be good? Okay, like let's do
especially because it's like one championship is fun, and I love one championship, like and like their fighters like watching their promotion and shit. But with that, their MMA divisions are not stacked. They have great Muay Thai, they have great kickboxing, and like their MMA fights can be a lot of fun. But you see it, it's like it's just people coming in. Their top, like their rankings are 1 to 5. They don't have deep divisions.
They don't have rankings for every division, too.
Yeah, exactly. They don't even have rankings for all of them. They're not stacked. You see a lot of rematches. So it's just like they're not looked at as a big MMA promotion. They are a combat sport promotion, too, So that's also just a factor. Like their MMA is not their thing. They just have it.
definitely the way I look at them a lot of the time, because that's kind of what they are, is a combat sports promotion.
Most of their fight cards are just or Muay Thai or kickboxing based.
Mainly Muay Thai.
Yeah, every Friday,
so
and then they just have that one a month that includes the MMA. Like they're not an MMA organization.
It still has Muay Thai and kickboxing on it as well.
Yep. And that's kind of like why I'm like, I feel like a lot of that's the other reason he doesn't bring it up, because it's just like he doesn't see them as a competitor in the same way he sees Bellator and PFL were.
Sure.
The only reason he brings up boxing is because boxing is still huge in America, and you have your Canelos and all that.
Like it's relevant,
and it's not a competition because it's a different sport. Like,
well, when they're like he's doing the Sphere in Vegas, and then Canelo on the same night
true.
fighting in the same town, it's like that's when he brings it up.
Yeah.
That's when he brings up boxing the most, is when it's like directly in the same place competing with the UFC.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, we'll definitely just see how all of that goes. Definitely excited for it is a great fight. Like that. It is. How fucking often is it ever? Like, I don't remember the last time that I'm like, damn, middleweight fight, and I'm super excited for this jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? Like, when the fuck does that happen? You know what I mean? So
we've got like Fluffy versus Kaio. I'd be interested in that if it was like Hermanson versus Kaio.
Yeah.
Hermanson versus Fluffy. Like those sides, but those are few and far in between. 100%. If you told me, hey, we're going to do a jiu-jitsu match. Oh, cool. Who is it? It's going to be fucking Paulo Costa and... No, sorry. Even better. It's going to be Marvin Vettori and Jared Cannonier.
Beautiful.
I don't care.
But no, yeah, I think actually, like, the last thing about it, I think the last time I cared, like, for the jiu-jitsu in a middleweight fight was Jack Hermanson versus Jacare Souza.
Yeah. Which makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, either way, that's going to be great. Some also good news. We talked about it last time that Movsar versus Aljo was off of 307, and Cyril Gane versus Volkov was off of 308. Both of them are rebooked for 310, so that's kind of funny. Aljo said that it was going to be like a short delay and that he would like hopefully be back this year. Volkov only said that it's a knee injury, so it's like with him coming back so soon, I'm gonna assume it was only something small, but it's also like damn, that's not too much of a difference in time, and you're
hopefully it was just like a sprain or something, you know?
Yeah, I'm more worried about Volkov than Aljo.
I understand.
I feel like with Volkov, what it was is he tweaked his knee. He called the UFC, said, "Hey, I'm probably not gonna be able to make this date. I need to wait for the MRIs to come back in, but
very possible
if we can, just." And it could have been like, small sprain, or like he just tweaked it and he just like, needed to stay off it for a couple weeks. It's like, hey, I'm not going to be able to have a full fight camp here. Can I at least do that? This is a big rematch. It's probably a number one contenders fight.
Yeah.
Considering,
that definitely
what's going to potentially happen when Jones and Stipe fight. So
yeah. But yeah, so definitely just nice to know that those are on the books for this year. So very good for those divisions. This next fight,
it comes with the best stat.
Yeah, go for it.
Yes.
It's terrible.
2006, Clay Guida made his UFC debut while Chase Hooper was 6 years old. And they're fighting.
2024.
Amazing.
It's fucking crazy.
Fucking Clay, man.
Yeah. 18 years later, this motherfucker is still here. That is so insane, man. The motherfucking caveman, the carpenter, Clay Guida. As soon as you sent this fight announcement, like, my initial reaction, which lasted about half a second, was like, this is awesome. And then it was like, oh, this is going to be so bad for Clay Guida. Like, what the fuck? Chase is definitely growing and developing in his striking. He is so much taller and longer than Clay Guida. And the jiu-jitsu is, like, Clay is not going to be able to hang with that, man.
Yeah, what he just did to Slavikolos, like, that was so bad.
Yeah. So, this is going to probably be first round sub for Chase Hooper?
Probably.
I would definitely take the, if the over-under is 1.5, I'm taking the under.
Yeah. Sub-minute guillotine, let's go.
Chase Hooper calf slicered him in Fury Grappling in 2022.
Wait, what?
Yep.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Chase Hooper like calf slicer?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying for this one too.
Maybe that would.
That'd be awesome.
That would be. Just doubles up on it.
Also, if I'm Clay, I'm just like pissed off now. Like, this guy has my number.
Yeah.
Cass likes her every time. What the fuck?
Chase Hooper just had it. Well, his girl just had a baby. So now it's going to be one of those things. He just had a kid. Now he's on a tear. He can't afford to lose.
Got that dad strength now.
He's going to start getting that dad strength.
Oh, yeah. Let's go. He's about to become a fucking monster. Let's go, Chase Hooper. This next one, pretty solid fight. Manel Kape, he is back taking on Bruno Silva. Not Bruno Silva that just fought Chris Weidman. The Bruno Silva that just fought, what was it, Cody Durden in his last one? I think he knocked him out earlier this year. But pretty sure. But yeah, 125 Bruno Silva. He's a pretty solid fighter, fun guy at 125 pounds. Yep. Got big power, gonna move forward, try and swing on Manel Kape. This could definitely be a matchup that Manel Kape looks good and he's able to just like move backwards, counter strike, you know what I mean? Possibly finish Bruno Silva. But if he's not able to like land that shot to put him down, this is gonna be a long night for Manel Kape probably.
Yeah. Actually, Bruno Silva is 4-2 in the UFC, 4-fight winning streak, 4 finishes in all of them.
Yeah.
3 knockouts, 1 RNC.
So yeah,
another guy just performance bonuses in all of those fights.
Fuck yeah, yeah, man. Hopefully Bruno Silva can get it done, get some new life into the top of the division, have someone that just good finishing potential and just moving up. That'd be a whole lot of fun.
Hell yeah. This
next one, great old man fight at 170 pounds. Nicholas Dalby is back taking on Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos. It's a rematch from, what was it, like 8 years ago or some shit like that.
When they both debuted.
Yeah, this is just a very fun, good fight. Elizeu, he's got big power. He's got really good kicks. Nicholas Dalby is a grinder in there. He is going to be pushing forward, putting on pressure until you're out of there or it's the end of the fight. It's going to be about 2 minutes into the fight. Nicholas Dalby's going to look gassed as fuck, just taking giant deep breaths out of his mouth. But don't be fooled. He's going to be there for the entire time.
Yes. It's the fight of the 2 old guys who give all the upcoming prospects a hard time.
Yep.
Yeah, so that should be a whole lot of fun. This next one, real big step up in competition. Yan Xiaonan fighting Tabitha Ricci. They are just trying to push Tabitha Ricci now, man. I don't know. It's like instantly in my head, it's just like, well, Dana's spending a whole lot of time pushing Callum Walsh and they're in a relationship. So I wonder if just some of that is just kind of like just feed him back onto Tabitha Ricci at all. I just feel like it doesn't make sense, but I mean, we do need new people at the top of the division, so I'm completely fine with it.
And I do think it makes some bit of sense because then Callum Walsh will be there front row. Then you get to plug his next fight. She's at his fight. Plug, and they're just like using that to promote it that way.
No, yeah, for sure. It's just one of those things where it's like you push people too far too quick, and because she's on a 2-fight winning streak, a split decision over Tisha Pennington, and a UD over Angela Hill. And now she's fighting Yang Xiaonan that just lost in a title fight, a UD to Zhang Weili.
Yeah.
Before that, knocked out Jessica Andrade, beat Mackenzie Dern. You know what I mean? Like, it's just Mackenzie Dern and Jessica Andrade are very different from that. And then before her 2-fight winning streak, she lost the split to Lupi. It's just, I'm just not sure if she's ready for this fight. Like, Yan is a solid fighter.
I definitely think it should have been something more like Tabitha Ricci fighting someone like Marina Rodriguez.
Yeah. Pretty sure Rodriguez is booked against someone.
She probably is, but like you that level, like that range, like Dern, somewhere in there. Like
it's just like Tabitha's gonna put on pressure and go forward, and it's like it's not gonna be as reckless as Jessica Andrade, like in the Yan fight, but it's like we seen what she can do on the back foot. You know what I mean? Like, she's a very good striker in that division. Man. To your point, this might just be too much too fast. Like, I really don't understand why they're giving her such a big jump.
No, yeah. For real.
But we'll see how that plays out. Main event official for the Fight Night card in China. Great fight at 135 pounds. Motherfucking Davison Figueiredo taking on Petr Yan, 2 former champs. A few years ago, this would have been a super fight, 125-pound champ taking on 135-pound champ. But now they're just 2 contenders at the top of 135.
Probably a number 1 contenders fight.
It's just hard because it's like Umar is, gonna have to like get the next shot, and so like with this happening like already on the books and like that not being scheduled, Sean O'Malley's still hanging around. You got, you know what I mean?
Okay, but I feel like Sean 100% should have to fight someone else.
Yeah.
I know, big name, all that, UFC preferential treatment, but I mean, like, again, we're getting there already. Umar Merab, Petr Figgy, Corey O'Malley, just do it.
Yeah, you just never know how you know what I mean? You just don't know. Because it's like, who knows if they can't get Merab and Umar booked until fucking, like, February or March or something. You know what I mean? Like,
I get it.
I mean, that's honestly more likely. And I mean, depending on how the start of the year goes, if they can't get Umar, like if Ramadan starts or whatever, you know what I mean? You never know how it's going to play out. But yeah, either way, it's an amazing fight at 135 pounds. This is going to be so much fun.
I do feel like if Davison wins, it makes more sense for him to get the shot, though, because like if Petr wins, he's only on a 2-fight winning streak at this point.
Yeah.
Over Song Yadong and then Figgy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
But they do get to promote that fight if Merab, let's just say Merab beats Umar, they easily get to promote that as a rematch for the title now. There's
I just feel like there's no hype on it because it's like if Merab does beat Umar and then Piotr's technically the next person up, there's no fucking hype on it after what Merab did to him in the first fight. And then to prove everyone wrong because everyone thinks he's going to lose his belt to Umar, if he beats him, no one's going to think there's a shot for Petr in that fight.
Yeah, but I feel like everyone's going to think there's no shot for anyone at that point in any of Merab's fight. Yeah.
That's why you need new names, new hope.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, it's kind of like why it's like, I feel like either way, like it could be, and then Petr versus Umar would also be interesting though.
No, for sure. But yeah, however that plays out, a lot of good fights to be had at bantamweight. Just an amazing division all around. Last 2 fights to bring up: Chris Barnett. He was supposed to be taking on Waldo Cortez Acosta. Waldo pulled out, so now Junior Tafa steps in on short notice. The Tafa bros are the guys you go to a short notice fight at heavyweight. This should just be a fun
slug
fight.
Like, just a real fun kickboxing fight. Let's be fair here.
It's gonna be great.
Absolutely incredible. Last fight to bring up: Volkan Oezdemir. He is back taking on Carlos Oberg. I
like this fight.
Yeah, it's just, I think Volkan's just on 2 or 3 fight winning streak now. I feel like it just kind of sucks of like, all right, well, there's no one really cares about you, so like fight Carlos Oberg, the next guy coming up. That's just a very good and technical striker that can put people away. You know what I mean? Like, just rough.
I get it is rough, but at the same time, it's like I wouldn't really be like, oh, Volkan needs to be going up because like his last 2 wins are against Bogdan Gustav and Johnny Walker. Gustav was coming off that was his debut.
That was a short notice, right?
Yes.
But it's also just one of those things where it's like if he wants to fight and stay active, he kind of has to fight down because Yuri, Magomed, Jamal, Jan, and Rakic are above him. That's it. He's number 6. Like they're
already lost to Krylov.
Whatever.
Khalil is right under Krylov. Both of them are booked. And then right after that is Johnny Walker, the guy he just beat. So.
But yeah. Definitely understand it. Just, like I said, rough matchmaking for Volkan Oezdemir, but we'll see how that plays out, see if Oberg can launch himself up into the top of the division, and
we'll see. He just didn't get much of a test, you know?
Yeah, it's just like, bro, how funny would it be, though, if Oberg just goes out there and just smashes Oezdemir, looks amazing, dominates him, knocks him out, whatever, you know what I mean?
That'd be crazy, and it would show that, he's supposed to be there.
But then, Magomed Ankalaev just has some sort of terrible win or bullshit fight with Alexander Rakic. You know what I mean? Just Poatan knocks out Khalil, and then we just get Poatan versus Carlos Olberg. What is the likelihood that happens?
Slim chance, I think.
You think just slim?
Just slim.
I don't know. We'll see, though. Definitely interesting to see how 205 will play out. A whole lot of strikers for Poatan to knock out, so keep him away from Ankalaev. You know what I mean? Just hopefully Rakic could win. That would be the best thing for Poatan, you know? Well, let's go. Nothing else to talk about on this episode of the podcast. I hope everyone enjoyed this one. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will catch you on the next episode. Speaking of Poatan, that's in just fucking, oh my god, 6 days. Let's go. Peace out, everyone.